Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Sumukascha Ekadantascha Kapilo Gajakarnakaha Lambodharascha Vikato Vignarajo Vinayakaha Dhumaketur Ganadhyakshaha Palachandro Gajananaha Vakratundaha Surpakarno Herambaha Skandapurvajaha Suklam Baradharam Vishnum Sasivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopasantaye Yasya Dvirada Vaktradhya Parishadhya Parasatham Vignam Nignanti Satatam Vishwaksenam Tamasraye Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheswaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Satchidananda Rupaya Krishnaya Aklishtakarine Namo Vedanta Vedhyaya Gurave Buddhi Sakshine Krishna Dvaipaya Namvyasam Sarvabhuta Hiteratam Vedabjabhaskaram Vande Samadhi Nilayam Munim Janmadhyasya Yataha Anvayat Itaratascha Arteshu Abhignaha Swarat Tene Brahma Hridayaha Adikavaye Mukhyanti Yat Sorayaha Tejovari Mudam Yatha Vinimayo Yatratu Sargo Mrusha Dhamna Sena Sada Nirasta Kuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahi Dharmaha Prochida Kaitavotra Paramo Nirbhaktaranam Satam Vedyam Vastavam Atra Vastu Sevadam Tapatrayon Molanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krute Kimva Paraihi Isvaraha Sadhyaha Hrudi Avarudhyatehe Atra Krutibihi Susrushibhihi Takshanat Nigama Kalpataror Galitam Phalam Sukhamukat Amrtadravasam Yutam Pipata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam Muhuraho Rasikaha Bhuvi Bhavukaha Yam Pravrajantam Anupetam Apeta Krutyam Dvaipayano Viraha Katara Ajuhava Putreti Tanmayataya Taravaha Abhineduhutam Sarvabhuta Hridayam Munimanatosmi Yaha Swanubhavam Akila Sutisaram Yekam Adhyatmadipam Apitatirshatam Tamondhama Samsarinam Karunayaha Purana Gukhyam Tam Vyasasunum Upayami Gurum Muninam Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyatam Tato Jayam Udirayet. Now with Bhagavan's grace, let us continue from where we left off. Yesterday, we came up to Slokam number 29, Adhyayam 7, Skandam number 4. We are partaking the various Stutihat. From we looked at Daksha Suti, Vijaha Suti, Sadasyaha Uchuhu, Rudra Stuti. Now we will take up Bhrigu, Brahma and Indra and Patanya Uchuhu. The four, let us see how Bhagavan guides us today, but at least those four if possible, we will see. Next one is Bhrigu Vacha, Bhrigu Stuti, Slokam number 30. And he basically talking about somebody like me, 100%. Because I've forgotten myself, my knowledge as Atmanyanam. I've not lost it, but I've forgotten it. Right? It is still with me. Atmanyanam is still, nobody loses Atmanyanam. Okay. Only thing is, I've forgotten it. Okay. And Bhrigu says, including Brahma, right from Brahma himself. And in that ignorance, they're all sleeping. So they don't realize the true form within themselves. The Sathya Swarupam, the Tattvam. They don't know that. So, but they all do Namaskaram to you, thinking that you are different from them and all that. So when they pray to you like this, and who are you? You are the closest, the truest relation, the bandhu for all of these people. So please shower your anugraham on them. When all these ignorant people who have forgotten that they are you and you are them, there's no difference. They've forgotten that, the truth, but they still pray to you, and you're the relative, you're the caretaker. So please shower your grace on them. That is Bhrugu's prayer. Yan mayaya gahanaya apahruta atmabodhaha brahmadayaha tanubhrutaha tamasi swapantaha na atman srutam tava vidanti aduna api sattvam saha ayam prasidatu bhavan pranatatma bandhuhu. Please remember that. Atma bandhuhu is Bhagavan. Yan mayaya gahanaya apahruta atma bodhaha brahmadayaha tanu brutaha tamasi swapantaha na atman sritam tava vidanti adhunapi tattvam saha ayam prasidatu bhavan pranatatma bandhuhu. Now, Gahana, it means something that is very difficult to get, not easily obtained. Okay, that is one way. The other thing is something where we are very deeply involved in, we're submerged in. Okay, Gahanaya, Yan Maya, Yat Mayaya, in whose Maya we are deeply immersed in. Okay? Then because of that deep immersion in that Maya, okay, in whose Maya we are, because of that, apahrita atma bodhaha, apahrita, being stolen, okay, and temporarily lost. It is not completely lost, but forgotten is probably the correct word. And atma bodhaha, the apahrita atma bodhaha, the atma jnanam has been stolen is not the right word, has been forgotten, has been covered up. Okay, you can put it that way. Because apahrita means to take away, right? But this is not taken away completely. Your Atma Jnanam, my Atma Jnanam, everything is there, very much deep within ourselves. It has not gone anywhere. Okay, but I am deeply immersed in the Maya, in the illusion. In the illusion, Maya simply means my own conviction, false conviction, my own operating basis, my own thinking and imagination that says I am separate from Bhagavan. That thing is so strong within me, that feeling of separation is so strong that fear, that is Maya. And being immersed in that, deeply involved in that, what happens? My own Atma Jnanam now has been covered up. Apahrita has been covered up by that Maya. Now, not only to me, this has happened to Brahmadayaha Tanu Bhrutaha. Brahma Adayaha Tanu Bhrutaha. Right from Brahma himself, Tanu means bodies. Bhrutaha, all the various Jivatmakal, Jivarkal, beings in the world. They're all immersed in this feeling of separation, false feeling of separation, and therefore their own self-knowledge has been covered up. So, Tamasi Swapantaha. Tamasi means in ignorance. Swapantaha, they are sleeping. Swapnam, we say, right? Swapantaha, they are all sleeping. All, right from Brahma himself, all the beings involved in this illusion, this Maya, this false sense of identity, have forgotten their own knowledge and they are sleeping in ignorance. So then, in that process, what they do, Atman Sritam, within themselves, within you, within me, within an ant, Bhagavan is the indweller. The same one Satyam is there in effulgent, Prakasam, as Narayana Suttam says. It is so effulgent and bright. It is. But that is Atman Sritam, the true self who is present within. Tava Tattvam Aduna Api Na Vidanti. Tava Tattvam, your own true self, your own true form. Aduna. Aduna means now. Aduna Api means even now. Na Vidanti, they do not know. So they are immersed in that Maya. They have temporarily lost their Atmajnanam, sleeping and passing away in ignorance, their own life. In that process, the truth that yourself is within them, that they do not know. Saha ayam, people like that, Pranatatma Bandhuhu, Pranata Atma Bandhuhu. So, Saha ayam pranata, those ignorant people like this, who do namaskaram to you, pranata. Pranata means past tense. They have already done prayers, namaskaram to you. Not tomorrow, but today. They have already done it. But Atma Bandhu, who are you? You are their Atma Bandhu. Okay? The closest to truest Sathya Bandhu, the only true friend, only true relation. Only true relation is Bhagavan. Only true friend is Bhagavan. There's an anecdote that with the Swami's Anugraham, let me share with you. In one interview discussion, Swami was asking everybody, what is the correct way to address me, to address Bhagavan? We say Krishna, Rama, Govinda, Damodara, Muslims say Allah. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, they all give different names. And Swami said, no, for everything. Then one of them said, Swami, the correct way, which is what I always use. But Swami means owner. I have to put it in a very loose translation. Something that is true itself, Swayam. We say that's where the Swami comes from. Okay, the true ownership from one's own self. Now, even that, and Swami said, no, that's not the correct way to address. Then he asked the students, one old person was there, elderly person, and he asked him, do you remember what Venkatagiri Raja used to call me? He said. No, Venkatagiri Raja was in 1950s, a great devotee. And and then he said, yes, Swami, yes, he used to call, what did he call me? He said, my dear Atma. And that is the correct way to address Bhagavan. My dear Atma, if you want to speak in English. Okay, my dear Atma. Because that is what Bhagavan is, within our own self. And of course, he has got infinite names. You can call him by whatever name he will respond. But the correct way is really, my dear Atma. Okay, I love you. That Atma is it. That is Atma Bandhuhu. So they say, who says, for these ignorant people, they pray to you, Swami. So, but you are their Atma Bandhu. Therefore, O Bhagavan, you, Atma Bandhuhu Bhagavan, the one Bhagavan who is the Atma Bandhu, Prasida too. Grant your anugraham on them, grace them, is his prayer. Yen mayaya bhruguhu uvacha, yen mayaya gahanaya apahrita atma bodhaha, brahmadayah tanu bhrutaha tamasi swapantaha, na atman srutam tava vidanti adunapi tattvam. Saha ayam prasidatu bhavan pranatatma bandhuhu. Bhavan means you. Bhagavan also. Bhagavan are here, you. Okay. Next one is Brahma Uvacha. Brahma Stuti. Now Brahma spoke. And he says, again, it's amazing how each of these stuti prayer applies to me. I can only talk about myself. You have to see whether it applies to you. Very interestingly, I can say the same stuti to Bhagavan and it will be true. Next one, Brahma says the same thing. He says, using my intelligence and mind and all that, I differentiate things because to understand the whole prapancham as one, in one totality, in an integrated fashion, is not possible by the mind or the intelligence. The total integrated awareness is what that Bhagavan is. So what do? I break it into pieces. I differentiate. Even in calculus, when we were learning calculus in school, they always said, let x equal to. They start an assumption. And then within that assumption, you try to come up with some kind of an understanding. If I don't put a limit on something, how do you understand it? And then, because of that inability of the mind and the buddhi to understand this totality, it cannot do it. It differentiates. Differentiates means it breaks it into pieces, one different from the other, so I can recognize it. Oh, this is a woman, this is a man. Oh, this is so-and-so, this is so-and-so. And if this person appears like this, person has got a name whom I know, so I call that person by that name. Like that, everything is differentiated. But the way I understand, the differentiated understanding of everything in this world using the buddhi and mind is not you. Is what Brahma says. Swami, that is not you. Because you are beyond that intelligence, the three gunangal, the three natural impulses, and you are beyond all the things that appear, so-called objects, feelings, whatever it may be. Even though you are the supporter of all this, but you are beyond all this. And so for all this, the differentiated appearances, the varieties of understandings, and even the understanding that there are three natural impulses, Sattvic Gunam, Rajasic Gunam, Tamasic Gunam. We speak about it so many times, but there is no such thing actually. So all these, yes, but you do appear like that, and you are the supporter for this, and this is the Maya. And you are beyond that Maya, that false sense of understanding and explanation. Nobody can explain Bhagavan. That is what Brahma says. Naitat Brahmovacha Naitat Swarupam Bhavatah Asau Padartha Bedha Grahaihi Purushaha Bhava Diksheta Jnanasya charthasya gunasya chasrayoho maya mayat vyatiriktah matah tvam brahmovacha naitat swarupam bhavatah asau padartha bheda grahaihi purushah yavadikshet jnanasya charthasya gunasya chasrayoho maya mayat Vyatiriktah matah tvam. Chartasya is cha arthasya, gunasya chasrayoho cha asrayoho. Okay. Naitat na etat. Okay. Then the other padangal should be yavadikshet. Those are all fine. Okay. So padartha. Now you understand the overall meaning. Asau Purushaha Padartha Bheda Grahaihi Yavadikshet. Asau Purushaha, this man, this human being, Padartha, Pada Artha, various objects, feelings, whatever we have in this in our imaginations, in our mind, in our creation, whatever you call it, all the things, not only human beings, animals, trees, various gross objects, various feelings, aspirations, disappointments, regrets, achievements, whatever it is, and wealth, concept of dharma, right? So many things, we're trying to veda artham, okay? The padartham. So the understanding in this case of the various variety of things, veda grahaihi, because he understands it in a differentiated fashion, not in an integrated fashion, asau purushaha, because of the differentiated understanding, yavadikshet, in which way he understands, only limited way, yavadikshet, yetat bhavataha swarupam na, all these is not your swarupam, Swami, it is not you. Yataha, because tvam, you, jnanasya, arthasya, gunasya cha, astrayaha, mayamayan, gyatiriktaha. Because this is not, all this is not you. Yataha, because tvam, you, jnanasya, for knowledge, for jnanam, arthasya, for the various things, the essence and the subject matters of everything in this world, gunasya cha, and all the three gunangal, astrayaha, even though you appear as if you are the supporter of all this, okay, maya mayan, all these are appearances of delusion, of maya. Maya mayan, all the appearances, whether it is jnanam, whether it is what we call as jnanam, whatever it may be, or the artham, whatever the subject, whatever the object may be, and whatever the gunangal may be, and even the concept of all these appear in maya. And even, I'm imagining this is all maya, isn't it? That aspect also, all these appear because of that. But you are tvam, maya mayan, vyatiriktaha. For all these false appearances, the deluded appearances that appear as if they are true, but they are not. For all those, vyatiriktaha, you are beyond them. You are beyond them. No different from a reflection in the mirror. I go and look at the mirror and you know what is true and what is not true. It is no different. And that the mirror is my mind. Okay? The mirror is not my mind. Mirror is the creation, the prapancham. And my mind sees the reflection on it the way I see it. When my mind is impure, it sees an impure reflection. When my mind is pure, then I see a pure reflection. That is the first point. Then once I see the pure reflection, which is myself, the Atma itself, then the mirror itself actually vanishes. The another way to look at it is the probably a better, correct way to do it. What I said is not exactly correct. So let me revisit that. When you stand in front of a mirror and look at it, you see the reflection. And you know the reflection is not true. And the reflection in the mirror may move, may jump up and down, may cry, do whatever it is. You know very well that is not true. Okay? Because we all have that knowledge, that limited knowledge. Now, if there is no there's no mirror, there's no reflection. That's another thing you have to remember. Now, what happens if the mirror is dirty? It has got spots on it, and some places are not clean, or whatever it is. Okay? Then correspondingly, my own reflection is not reflected properly. Now, what happens if the mirror is shaking and moving all the time while I'm looking at it, instead of being stuck to a wall. The reflection is also shaking, isn't it? And it is not staying in one place, unstable. Now, on top of all that, if I cover the mirror with a black cloth, what happens to my reflection? I don't see any reflection at all. Now, that mirror is my mind. Okay? The mind is very pure. It is called amanaskaha, with no mind, crystal clear. Then the reflection, what I see, is my own pure self. When my mind is pure, I see my own self. Now to become one with it is the next step, where the mirror itself vanishes. Okay, mind itself vanishes. The mind is pure, I see my own self within me. Okay, that is a beautiful stage. Siddhigar, through yoga practice, yajnam and all that, all these stages are slowly reached. So the mind has to be, then impurities have to be removed from that mirror, which is my mind. The impurities are those 6 enemies that we talked about. And all coming from desires and selfishness, etc. Mind, the nature is sanchalam, it's moving all over. That is why I'm not even able to get a glimpse of my own self. The atma, my own inner self, I'm not even able to get a glimpse because mind is not focused at one point. Then the black cloth that is I put on the mind, my own mind, is my ignorance, selfishness, self-aggrandizement, on that. So because of that, I don't see my own atma at all. I don't see my own love. I don't see my own self. I don't even begin to relate to it. So these are the different stages. I gave it in different order. So coming back here, maya mayan vyatiriktaha, the mind itself is the one that, see, manomulam idam jagat, okay? Manaseva karanam manusyoho bhokka, one second, manushyanam moksha bandhayoho, okay? Manayeva karanam manushyanam moksha bandhayoho, okay? Manayeva karanam, it is repeated, Manayeva karanam manushyanam moksha bandha yoho. So its mind is the only reason, mana eva is the only reason for human beings, manushyanam, moksham, that is to give you freedom from bondage, or bandha yoho, binds you. The mind is pure, you get moksha. When the mind is impure with various things, you get bondage. So that maya mayan vyatiriktaha, you are beyond all this. In the example we just covered of you standing in front of the mirror and the reflection appearing on it, if there is no mirror, what happens? That is the vyatiriktaha, beyond the reflection. Okay? So that is what I probably explained too much into detail, I'm not sure. But Brahma says basically that. So the basic takeaway for people like me is that don't get hung up on my own intelligence, my own ability to understand things, on explanations and this and that. No. They are all not true. What is true is that Bhagavan, who is beyond all this, which is anubhavam, yat bhavam tad bhavati. So the prema anubhavam, selflessness, is where the truth is. That is beyond all this. So Brahma uvacha naitat swarupam bhavatah asau padartha bheda grahaihi purushaha yavadiksheti jnanasya chartasya gunasya chatrayoho maya mayat vyatiriktaha mataha tvam. The root cause is bheda grahaihi, because I differentiate. Because I differentiate, all whatever I understand is not true. So the meaning is I must understand things on an integrated fashion, which means I must look for the one in the many, the one constant thing in the many. For that, I've got to develop myself with that vision. And then you see the integrated awareness, constant integrated awareness will come after that. So that is the difference between the Vedagrahi, where the problem comes. And now why do I differentiate? Because of my selfishness and self-aggrandizement. Those are the two reasons, ahamkaram and mamakaram. Okay. Now let us move on to the next one, Indra Uvacha. Now Indra says, beautifully, this is also applies to people like me, because you go to the temple and you look at beautiful Bhagavan, Venkatarama Abhishekam is taking place, and you look at the various alankaram and all that. So you enjoy that. That is beautiful. Bhagavan appears so beautifully to give me enjoyment and happiness and pleasure. Oh, please remember that. And this is the way Indra enjoys it. He looks at Bhagavan Darshan here. He says, hey, Mahavishnu, the object of dhyanam, the one object by the whole lokangal, all the world, they should have only one object for dhyanam, and that is you. And you are the one who also is capable of destroying all the demons and the asuras, and you're carrying all these weapons, and so beautifully and majestically with the 8 hands that you appear in front of me, this Swarupam, Swami, this is so blissful. Gives me so much happiness and bliss, both to my mind as well as to my eyes, he says. My eyes are resplendent and they are so happy, and the mind is so blissful looking at this Swarupam of yours, appearing here with 8 hands, carrying all the weapons that we saw earlier, and you are the one, the object of meditation for everybody, and you capable of destroying all the asuras. So this Swarupam is so blissful, so happy, says Indra. So different people, how they beautifully, the Sruti is, so each aspect is there. Indra Uvacha, Slokam 32. Idam api achyuta visvabhavanam vapuhu anandakaram manodrusam suravid chapanaihi udayudhaihi bujadandhaihi upapannam ashtabhihi. Indra Uvacha. Idam api achyuta visvabhavanam vapuhu anandakaram manodrusam Suravit Chapanaihi, Udayudaihi, Bujadandaihi, Upapannam Ashtabhihi. Indra Uvacha. Indra said, Achyuta, a Mahavishnu, Achyuta, most dependable. The only word I can come in English is that absolutely dependable. You stand and you fall back. He carries you. Not in so many things. I think I shared, I don't want to go into the too detail now, but I did share, all of our experiences in our life, there are situations that we have gone through, and whether we believe in Bhagavan or not, whether I say my slokam or not, whether I do the prayers or not, whether I carry out any of the instructions, teaching given by Bhagavan or not. Okay, irrespective of all that, when certain things happen in everybody's life, and Bhagavan is there to save them, to take care of them. Sometimes it could be a danger that has been lessened in its impact. Sometimes it could be a danger completely avoided. So many things. If you think back, you yourself will know. And that is because the example we come close to in our life is you stand and you ask your friend to catch you as you fall, close your eyes and fall backwards. How much you must depend on him to do that? Think for a second. He must be absolutely dependable to you because you close your eyes and you're falling backwards. Right? You're standing and then you're falling backwards. Because you know for sure that he's going to catch you. But at that time, let us say his cell phone rings or something like that. Some distraction comes. What is he going to do? Think. But Bhagavan is, without doubt, he will catch you. Catch me, catch you, catch everyone. And that is Achyuta. Achyuta, Vishwa Bhavanam, the whole Vishwam, all the beings in the world, what are they praying? Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. This is the constant one prayer innately. The same way I'm breathing, this pranangal, this constant prayer is there humming through my own spinal cord, my own nadi. Okay, whether I realize it or not, this prayer, not only to me, to an ant, to an earthworm, to a snake, to a bear, to a mountain, to a piece of dust, everything has got this one prayer, Asato Ma Sadgamaya, lead me from untruth to truth. Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya, lead from mortality to immortality. Enough of this birth and death. Okay, everybody is praying. And Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, the very first one. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, from lead me from ignorance to light, to knowledge, to darkness, to light, whatever way you want to call it. Okay? And so Bhagavan has to remove my ajnana, the curtain of ajnanam, that has to be removed. And so Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, then you say, Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya, the final one, is from the cycle of birth and death, from mortality, take me to immortality. Everybody, the constant prayer. And that is what Vishwa Bhavanam means. Okay, and this prayer is given in Bhagavatar Upanishad. Most important prayer that tells you the oneness of everything in this creation. Nobody is different. Appearing differences, yes, but there is no difference fundamentally. So that Vishwa Bhavanam. So who are they praying to? You. Achyuta, this is the prayer. Okay, so the whole Vishwam is doing this. Then Sura with Chapanaihi, Sura for the Devar. Sura with Sura with means they're enemies of Devar. Okay, who are Asuras. Sura with those Rakshasas, Asuras, Chapanaihi, to destroy them, to capable of destroying them. Only you, Achyuta, only you are capable of removing all the dark impulses within me, all my innate enemies within me. Those are the Asuras. They are not outside somewhere. Within me they are. So those 6 enemies, the Rakshasas would rob me of my peace, my Shantam, my Kamam and Krodham. Okay? And those are the worst. The Lobham is another one, Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita. These are my worst enemies. They are, be very careful, Arjuna, he says. Be careful. They are the worst enemies. So those who can destroy them, only you. Because love, prema, they completely removes them. In the vision of prema, they run away. Kamam and Krodham and Lobham, Moham, Madham, Matsaryam, all of them run away without even leaving their addresses behind, is what Swami says. So Sura with Shapanaihi, Udha Ayudehe, carrying the weapons, Udha Ayudehe Ashtabihi, Bhuja Dandaihi, Udha Ayudehe Ashtabihi, Bhuja Dandaihi, Ashtabihi, Bhuja Dandaihi, Ashtabihi 8. Bhuja Dandaihi, long hands, Bhujam, shoulders, okay, also means hand. Dandaihi, like a big, long hand, okay. But they are carrying with the Ayudehe, carrying the weapons. Achyuta, the way you are appearing now, with 8 hands carrying all the weapons. Upapannam Bhujadandaihi Upapannam Itam Vapuhu. How your Upapannam Idam Vapuhu, this Swarupam, this form in which you have manifested yourself, this darshan of yours, has got Upapannam, it is consisting of these Bhujadandaihi, Ashtabihi Bhujadandaihi, Udhayudehe, beautifully appearing like this. Mano drisam, mano for the mind, drisam for the eyes, anandakaram gives anandam, so much bliss and happiness. Idam vapuhu mano drisam anandakaram. This form of yours gives so much bliss and happiness to mind as well as to my eyes. That's what Indra says. Indra uvacha idam api achyuta visvabhavanam vapuhu anandakaram mano drisam suravit vikshapanaihi uda yudaihi bhujadandaihi upapannam ashtabhihi. With Bhagavan's anugraham, we will stop here and continue tomorrow. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Samasta Lokaha Sukhino Bhavantu Samasta Lokaha Sukhino Bhavantu Samasta Lokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Kayena vacha manasendriyairva buddhyatmanava prakrutehe sabhavat karobi yadhyat sakalam parasmai Narayanaayeti samarpayami. Om Tat Sat. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.